Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. Are very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. If you're feeling charitable, please smash the subscribe button, the like button, and please do follow me at Twitter on Movies TV Mad. COVID-19. Let me ask you a question. This time last year, if you were thinking what was going to happen a year ahead, could you even ever see this happening? Kind of this authoritative state where we're all forced to stay at home unless we want to buy some food. Here in Cyprus, where I live with my disabled father, I need written permission or a text message confirming I can go out. Think about that. If someone said to you, this was going to be our dystopian future, would you have believed it? Of course you wouldn't. And if I said to you, would you accept it a year ago, you would have said no. How can anyone tell me I have to stay indoors? But when you're told you'll save lives by remaining at home, beginning with your own, you're probably going to listen. Everyone's so afraid. But there are actually quite a few intelligent young people who don't believe a word of it. They're the ones sitting on the grass and soaking in on the rays. You're saying you are talking crap, Mick. They're idiots for going out. They're putting lives at risk. Do I believe in COVID-19? Do I believe it's the threat that the media and the government are telling us to? I, in my entire life, have never trusted the media or any government, any. I can't sit here and tell you it's all a load of balls. I can't tell you that. I'm here. I'm isolating. I'm doing as I'm told. But I'm giving it another month. And after the month's over, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go shopping without permission if they don't reopen the country. Cyprus really hasn't got a problem. It's more precautionary. It's nothing like America. It's nothing like the UK. Officially, we haven't really had a big problem. We've got about 600 people who have had it. We've had about, 15 to 20 deaths. It's not an epidemic by any stretch of the imagination. But it's the concept, isn't it? The concept that we've all accepted this. What really jacks me off, that no one's questioning it, and our media, all they want to do is tell us how many people have got it, how many people have died from it. They're the scary figures. But have you noticed on the news that they never compare the deaths we're having now to the deaths we had before COVID? So let's go back a year, right? How many people were dying a day this time last year? Do you have those figures? Because I don't know. But why aren't the media saying, if they wanted to frighten us all the more, they say, well, only such and such amount of people died each day this time last year, and look at it now. They're not giving us those figures, are they? Have you noticed on the news, whatever country you're from, they're not giving a comparable kind of number, which probably means about the same amount of people were dying. So how can that be explained? How can that be justified, right? Why, right, did Boris Johnson end up going into hospital? Do I believe he was going to die? No. I believe he had a few little symptoms of COVID-19, the same kind of symptoms as the people self-isolating at home. But of course, if Boris Johnson could be on death's door with COVID-19, then maybe that could be me. Maybe I should listen to the isolation rules. Yes, I better do as I'm told. I better be a good little boy. Of course, the public and the normies are doing what all good little boys and girls do. Blaming. Blame culture. Those people going out, are you 2 meters across? All that runner breathed on me. It's the paranoia now. You think everyone's going to give you a death sentence. It's what they want. It's what they want, right? The herd immunity thing was interesting. We went past that very, very quickly. Is herd immunity a thing? I don't know. First of all, we have to ask the question, is COVID-19 the global pandemic they claim it to be? Now, if you don't know, there are many coronaviruses out there, and they're not deadly. Now, according to the media and the government, this coronavirus, COVID-19, is deadly. Now, do you remember when they told us only the elderly and people with underlying issues could be affected by this? Very quickly, they started reporting that nurses, 25 years old and 19-year-olds, could die and were dying from it. All of a sudden, it wasn't just people with underlying health conditions and the elderly. It was everyone. Why did that narrative change? They were telling us 2 weeks before that, if you're young and you're healthy, you'll be fine. We're going to have social distancing. We're not going to lock you down. It's like they were letting us down gently, social distancing, then locking you down. It's interesting. China have reopened. There's a lot of blame culture with China. Let's see if they have a second wave, right? They've reopened. Tomorrow, Austria will reopen their shops. Let's see how that gets on. Denmark closed down their whole country without having any cases. Now, that's the biggest precaution since the guy who couldn't shoot his load put on a condom, right? So we are in a state of paranoia. None of us have known a life like this before, where it is illegal to go outside, right, unless it's a necessity. Now, we're allowed to go out for a walk, right? But here, having to ask permission to go shopping. I live in a little village, right? It's very difficult. I have to use the village shop. They've barely got what I need. I can't cook. I need ready-made frozen food for me and my father. And they don't have a lot. Now, the shop about 15 minutes drive away, which I can get in a cab, I can't get without the text message. Problem is, I can't write Greek on the phone. So there you go. I'm screwed. So I'm doing the best that I can, right? And for me and my father to survive. So if I found out that this was a load of balls, there is a lot of things going on here, right? There are many professors here on this very platform, YouTube, who claim many people on their death certificates, cause of death is being written as COVID-19, when in fact they had COVID-19 when they died, but they didn't die of COVID-19. There's a big distinction there, isn't there? A big distinction. How does COVID-19 kill you? If you have underlying issues, it can make you weaker. So is it COVID-19 that killed you, or is it the underlying issues? It's like when someone dies of influenza, right? You don't die of influenza. The influenza attacks your system, your immune system, which could give you a heart attack. It can fuck with your lungs. So there's a distinction there, and I accept that. But then we look at the numbers. And the numbers, for example, on a Sunday and a Monday over in the UK, you don't get accurate numbers because there's no one there to count them. So yesterday, they dramatically told us, big headline, over 10,000 people have died of COVID-19, but they couldn't be bothered to do a daily count. Today, it was lower. It was around 600, 700. It's lower because the figures they would have counted in half of the 24 hours on a Sunday, they don't have anyone there. It's ridiculous, right? So you don't know what's going on. So you've got, in the UK, you've got a Prime Minister who wasn't going to die. He's lying, as far as I'm concerned. All of a sudden, this is the government over in the UK. This is really funny, though, because they came up with this new idea, right? A point system for migrant workers and foreign workers being able to work in the UK. Things like you have to earn 24 grand a year. Basically, it was something that just would never have worked. It was ridiculous. It was just a way to get rid of foreign workers. And they cleared out the NHS of many foreign workers. What's happened now? They've had to beg retired health workers and frontliners to come into action because they drove away those great foreign workers because they don't want any foreigners. Guess what? Now Boris Johnson's bigging up foreign workers. Now they're going to have a 6-month extension on their visas. How the fiddler is playing a different tune on his instrument. Interesting. A far-right government who can't stand migrant workers who wants a pure race, all of a sudden has to rely on those people. Let me explain to you people on the far right how it works. Any successful culture needs a migrant worker force. And if you don't get them, you won't have a working force. Because guess what? There's certain jobs and there's certain amounts of money that the people living in that culture refuse to do. So you need the migrant workers to do it because they're willing to do the dirty work. They're willing to put their hands in the crap and change the nappies and put the syringes in. They're willing to do it and they're good at it. They're good people, right? But Boris Johnson and his government didn't want them, and now he does. What's going to happen after coronavirus, right? Are they going to get kicked out? I don't know. So you have allegedly a global pandemic. We've got Bill Gates talking about putting chips in people. The bird flu was supposed to be a big pandemic. 150 people died from it, right? They patented many vaccines that were never used. Guess what? Apparently, the World Health Organization has financial connections to pharmaceutical companies around the world. Pharmaceuticals is one of the biggest profitable kind of ways of income in the world. And we know how corrupt they are. Is it possible that a lie about a global pandemic has been invented so these people can make money? There's also this kind of, there's loads of conspiracy theories out there. I want to discuss them briefly. There's this conspiracy theory about globalization, and then a conspiracy about a communist state, socialism. Is that what's going on? Are they going to tell us that you can't, you manage not living in your homes, that's it. You're going to work from home, or you're going to do what you're going to do. The internet will be free. We have these kind of, what's the thing Amazon use with the flying things that deliver stuff? Forgot, right? Drones, right? We'll deliver your shopping via drones. Do you imagine that? Right? So you never have to leave your house at all. You've got the internet, and tough luck if you haven't got a garden. But what you'll have is a curfew. You can go out sometimes. Is this the kind of thing they're trying to get us used to? Letting us down gently. You think I'm crazy? Let's see if I am crazy. Let's see what happens, right? This is a dystopian future, like it or not. For all I know, COVID-19 is a proper and actual threat. And we'll stay at home for a few more weeks or a month or so. It will go and we'll be fine. But what if I'm correct in being suspicious and paranoid that something on a higher global level is happening here? And there's a reason for all of this, a dark reason that the powers that be are doing to us. Anything's possible, anything. And if China gets a second wave or other countries get a second wave, we should be suspicious. Then we should definitely be suspicious, because there'll be no escape from this I can't say the word, totalitarian kind of realism we're into now. Wow, we've seen it in films. Dreaming Demolition Man, when you will find a certain amount of credits for swearing, that you wiped your backside with seashells. Those people living underground, having rat burgers, doing this rebellion. It's going to happen to us. How long do you think the people of the world are going to accept being trapped in their homes, not being able to go down the pub, sit in the park, have a coffee, right, at Starbucks? How long will people put up with this? Now, I know the public is stupid, but how stupid are they? It's a different world, boys and girls. It's changed. At first I was scared, but now I feel rebellious. I might start a bar called The Rebel, right? And maybe we can all sit there, right? And rebel against this. I don't know. I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I am suspicious. I don't know anyone who's got COVID-19. I don't know anyone who's died from COVID-19. But the blue ticks and the celebrities are telling us, stay safe, protect the NHS or whatever country you're in, right? Stay alive. The celebrities keep on telling us to stay home. The media keep on telling us to stay home. The government are pressuring celebrities and entities to tell us this, of course, because we kind of look up to them. We're supposed to listen to them, right? Can you trust celebrities? Can you trust the media? Can you trust the government? I know there's a lot of people out there, a lot of people on this platform, YouTube, listen to the government, trust the government. If you stay at home, it'll all be over and we can get on with our lives soon. Even that is a mind fuck, isn't it? It makes you think, yeah, if we do as we're told, this will be fine. But will it? Listen to the government. Do it as what the government say. I tell you what, you take the poison, and if you don't die from it, I'll drink some too. Do you get me? This is where we are now. So do I believe COVID-19 is a real and proper threat? Honestly, they're playing us. They are playing us, and I don't trust them. And I'm going to give it another month, as I said on the top of the show, and then I'm going out. And they can do to me whatever they want. We are free. The people are the strongest force in the world. And ultimately, they can't put us in prison. Why? Because then they break the cover story of COVID-19. Social distancing, already releasing pregnant women and other people who did lesser crimes from prison. So they're not going to put more people in prison. Can they force you to pay a fine? Can they? Really? How? How? There's not even any money anymore. No one's working. No one's earning. How are you supposed to pay a freaking fine? There seems to be a misunderstanding that we don't have any power anymore because of this virus, so-called virus, because the government are forcing us. They've made it law that we have to stay at home. But we have more power than you think. Our minds are all powerful. And we can sit there and we can actually be logical about this. This has never happened before. What is COVID-19? What is coronavirus? A coronavirus on its own is a flu, is influenza. This is supposed to be another strain. The whole point of this strain is that it's not deadly towards everyone, but it's deadly to the weak. And now they're saying anyone can get it and anyone can die from it. They changed their story. They changed their narrative, right? So 1 minute, old people, underlining issues, now anyone can die from it. The 20, 21, 23-year-olds who have died from it, if this is a thing, right, had underlining issues. Obviously, people are not lying, are they, that they've died from it. But there's something going on here. Even if this is a real and proper threat, there's something that doesn't sit right with me. And even though I respect how China responded to it, and they're still cleaning their streets out, with cleaning fluids, and they've done an amazing job, seeing they were the first to get it and how bad they had it. They've done amazing. They're a great nation. Some people believe they've got a secret vaccine and they're not telling the world about it. Could be true. How did they get rid of it so quickly? There are questions. China have gone around to a lot of countries and tried to help and impart their knowledge of dealing with the virus. My home country here, they've helped us out a lot. As I say, we didn't really have a big problem, but they are helping. I don't know. Is that to cover what they started? Did they start it? What's going on here? Did America try to do something to China and it backfired? Wouldn't that be ironic? There's too many questions left unanswered. And I will not be a good little boy and just go like that, like they're telling me to. Question. My advice is for now, stay at home. Stay at home for about a month. Let's see how this plays out. But when you sniff that they're trying to permanently keep you in your homes, then, my friends, there's nothing we can do but rebel. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with more videos. Don't forget, normally I'm talking about DC and TV shows. So if you're interested in that, subscribe as well. I'll be back very soon.